everybody, to the Between the Spokes podcast and the Anovia Wheels podcast. We're back with episode 5.
I think it's 5 episodes already.
I know, it's crazy. So, I'm Gels from Anovia Wheels.
Oh, shoot. That was fast.
It's okay. How many times have we done this? 5?
We're live right now on the air. We've only done it 5 times.
Yeah. And, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about EVs. Electric vehicles. And if they're taking over the world.
5 episodes in, we are talking about...
We're getting some deep stuff.
Yeah. What's going to happen in, episode 100? Socioeconomic conditions of...
I don't even know what that means, but yeah, I'm about it.
It's going to be crazy.
So before we go ahead and get into everything, if you're needing a new set of wheels for whatever car you might have, go check out Anovia Wheels at AnoviaWheels.com. We even have forged multi-piece ready to be available for a quote to be built out. They're custom one-of-one wheels ready to be built for you, so you can go fill out a quote over there at AnoviaWheels.com. And, of course, follow our socials. We got a bunch of cool stuff coming out real soon. Some new wheel models, new finishes, new sizes. It's a good time.
It's kind of like on the factory now. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's kind of like out of our hands for the first time in forever. I feel like we've been working on this nonstop.
I think we've told people in live streams and stuff. I think we did live streams to also just talk to people.
Yeah, because there was so much stuff going on at one point. Where it was just it was crazy. Like answering DMs and comments. It was like, what if we just went live? What if we just kind of
address all this?
Address the nation of Anovia. What's going on? Yeah. So, Sam, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Winter's almost over.
It feels like it's over today.
I know, it's 40 degrees.
Yeah, with someone probably listening to this right now, it's 80 degrees, but
they have no idea. Yeah.
Oh, it feels like summer right now. It feels so good.
I know. It's 40 degrees hits, that's the tipping point. That's when shorts are out, tank tops are back, sunroofs are open.
Yeah.
Dude, it's time.
The snow starts creeping away. I start seeing my grass, and I'm like, whoa.
Oh, dang.
It's coming.
Yeah, fall, spring, you gotta watch out for fall, spring.
I know. I live in Wisconsin, so we're going to get slammed.
It's good. Yeah, usually 3 fall, springs. It's I feel like we always get a big snow summer March, and then at the beginning of April too, every year.
Yep.
I remember our season opener all the time for WCC.
It's a big question mark.
Yeah, it's a big question mark. It's either going to be 80 degrees or it's going to be 10 degrees in a blizzard.
Yeah.
I literally remember that was the first event that I helped out with, staffing for parking. And I'm literally parking these slammed fucking cars in a freaking blizzard. And I'm freezing. I'm covered in snow. Everyone's this is the biggest event we've had, and it's a freaking blizzard. It's
this is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Dude, it was awesome. I loved it. Everyone loved it.
Dope.
It was kind of
sometimes
maybe
bad
some
weather.
Great content.
Yeah, I say bad weather. When you are there and you're doing the thing, sometimes bad weather just makes it more fun.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's we just had to make it fun because it really sucked, but you had to make it fun.
Yeah.
We had so many people there. It was the first show of the year. People were ready to get out there, and it's it was a wild time. So
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
What are you working on right now?
What am I working on right now?
You have a couple cars you're working on.
I know. I need to prioritize it. It's getting bad. I'm getting too many projects going at once again.
Oh, you're good.
Might need to sell something. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's going good. I just finishing up the RX-8 right now.
I guess
a bunch of stuff. Side skirts, carbon lip, got the new wheels on.
Those look sick. Speaking of Ford, we talked about those are good.
Yeah, they turned out incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so happy with how they turned out. They fit perfect. The tire size turned out good. We got everything shaved down as far as the over fenders and everything. Yeah. So everything clears. I actually air it out for the all the way for the first time.
How nervous were you?
So nervous. It was absolutely terrifying. I literally had my wife out there. I was like, hey, you need to come watch this as the air out. I had pieces of paper. I'm checking everything, and because I cut a lot of stuff out of the inside of the over fenders just to make sure it cleared, and I just wanted to make sure that fiberglass. It's it doesn't take much to just explode. Yep. So I was really nervous, but literally I can air it all the way out. 0 psi, sits really good, and it's really good. And then now that it's on the ground finally, I think it's been on the jack stands for a month or so. So I can finally pull that out, get the 240 in there, and start working on that.
Yeah, you got another project there.
Yeah, speaking 240s, how's yours going?
Good. I'm just waiting on parts.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think they got delivered today.
Really?
Yeah, I got an email that my Rock Auto order showed up. Fun fact, you can order power stop stuff on Rock Auto. So
I did not know that until today.
I was like, wow, that's
you literally
crazy.
told me that, and I was like, I'm gonna go look for RX-8 brakes because those are kind of shot and need new ones, and especially with the new wheels on there. They look like the old
garbage.
ones. They look kind of garbage.
Yeah. No, I look at those probably this weekend. My goal this weekend is to have everything torqued down and the car back on the ground, so the front end up. But yeah, it should be pretty much good.
Man, big things happening. Cars getting back on the ground.
I know.
Like, for real. I finally got, like, I pulled the car out, like, this weekend to, like, take some photos of it. And he's like, damn. I feel like the thing's been in the air forever. It's like, I know. Like, it feels like, at the same time, it feels like I just, like, started working on it again. But, I don't know. I'm really happy with how, like, the V2 of the build is turning out.
Yeah, it'll be sick.
It's looking really good. It just feels more complete, especially with, like, the side skirts and everything.
I think with the wheels and stuff, too, you know you don't have, like, big old spacers on there.
Yeah.
And, like,
the fun part is, like, the reaction online. People are like, damn, this build was like a 2 out of 10. Now it's like an 8.8. I'm like, it was really a 2?
Then you're like, wow, you guys really...
Like, damn, you guys hate it. At least you were nice to me about it, but now you're just ruthless. Like,
it looks different without the wing on it, too. I know you're figuring that out.
And honestly, I don't know. As much as I love the wing, I kind of dig it with, like, no wing. Maybe
I think
it
makes the wide body and the wheels.
It accentuates it a lot more. Like, it's a lot more proportionate, I think, because that wing was just so huge.
It was a big wing.
Yeah.
Big wing.
Big
Did you put
wing.
that on? No, don't put it on the 240.
No, I'm not going to put that on 240.
So,
I could keep, like, the actual wing itself. Maybe get shorter risers for it, but...
Yeah. Get some downforce on that KA.
We got it's going to need it.
Keep that
Keep it on the ground.
So, we're talking about electricity today.
Yeah.
And,
shocking.
Wow.
That was lame.
My God, I'm just looking at Josh because Josh thinks those jokes are so funny. Yeah, he's just over there giggling. So, topic today are EVs taking over, which I think is a little bit of like, whoa, taking over, but like, I think there's more to it. It's kind of an interesting topic because for us, we actually have a surprising number. Well, I was surprised at how many Teslas went with Anovia wheels. Like pretty soon, actually. Yeah,
it was like it was like a couple months in, and there was I think it was like a Model 3 or something like on Titans. And I was like, damn, what bolt pattern are these in there? 5x1 14.3. And I was like, okay, all right, let's do it.
It's crazy, but I mean, lightweight wheels, it totally makes sense. Extending the range, performance, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna break it down a little bit today in some different things. So, what are your experiences with EVs?
So I've never actually had an experience with an EV before, so like it's kind of a tough topic for me. It's kind of just more like opinionated at this point, unfortunately, but like, you know, just kind of watching what's going on, and like especially when you look at companies like GM and Ford now, that they're just like, oh, we're just ripping it off like a Band-Aid.
No more gasoline.
Gas. So I've never had like firsthand experience with any EVs, so kind of out of luck there, but I know you have.
Yeah, I've not like a lot of experience. Like I have some friends that have Teslas, and I drove a Model 3, which I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, this is not like a crazy like high performance, model or anything like that. It's just kind of your normal Model 3. Yeah. And it is fast. Like it's weird because my experience was, I was like, man, there's just no personality to EVs. Like there's no motor like making the sounds and all that stuff. But when you put your foot down and it just goes, whoa. It was real fast.
It's like, is it fast or is it like fast?
Like fast.
So it's not like quick, it's fast.
It's fast, yeah. Damn. Like I did one on ramp, and it's just like it's instant torque, and there's also no noise, and you just hear.
It's gonna be so weird.
It is weird. You just hear speed. It's just like
just wind and
is it like
tire noise.
I think it's a big noise for EVs. You're like, don't get loud tires because that'll suck.
Oof, that is true.
Don't get those ridge grapplers on.
I hope no one's. Well, I suppose with the trucks and everything, that's a very oh God,
exactly.
Those lifted truck boys are gonna have a wild time.
That'd be so loud. Damn. But it was cool. The other thing it had the self-driving capabilities. So I turned it on, super skeptical. Okay. And the car, like it was a Tesla Model 3, like I said, it tells you what it sees. So you at least know if the car knows something's happening. I liked it, but it was also just like eerie. Like it was just weird. Like I don't know. I'd have to get used to it, but
for sure.
It was cool. Like I think it was definitely a neat novelty thing. If you're just like for me, if like just commuting to work or whatever, I totally see it. Like I get it. Like I get the appeal. It feels like a gadget on wheels versus just like a car.
That's kind of like the interesting fact of it too, because like especially you look at like Tesla, right? It wasn't just the fact that it was an electric car, because like you've seen electric cars before.
They're all super like gimmicky. Like,
and it was like okay, it was like it was really looked kind of crazy. It looked kind of weird, but like when you look at like Tesla, and especially with like all these other EVs hitting the market, both trucks and everything, it's like it's a lot more than just an electric car. It's like the tech that's inside. You talk about like the self-driving stuff. You see like, you know, all of like the navigation stuff, like the comfort stuff, like just the amount of like actual tech that goes into it is insane. It's more than just the power plant of the car.
And there's like a community around it. Like you have a community for your iPhone like users and stuff like that. Like it's crazy, and they defend them like super hard, and they're like. They look cool. That's the other thing that I feel like a lot of hybrids or other like early EVs, they just look so weird that it was like, I'm not saying like a Tesla doesn't look weird, but like I think that's what people think when they see electric
But it's like
cars.
I feel like, you know, at first the Teslas are kind of like wild and kind of like out there, like holy cow, like it's so different. Well, it's like it's a completely new like manufacturer.
Yeah,
it's like you've never seen that car before. It's not a Chevy, it's not a Honda, it's a Tesla.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think they've aged pretty well. Even the first generation of them, I think have aged pretty well.
I think so too. And then you have like Porsche with the Taycan, like that thing is sick.
Those things look really good. I like
someone
those.
I forgot who it was, but last summer came through with one of those, and I was like, damn, like, it just looks so cool. It's and the quality was just like it's a Porsche, so it's like that's really good.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see too, like the I don't even know how to say it, just the one-ups of each other, like like you know Tesla's like everyone was like that's never gonna work, they're not gonna do it.
It was like a joke.
It was a joke.
It was a pipe
Chevy
dream.
literally like laughed at them. They're like it's not gonna work. And
then
they're like okay, time to react. And Ford's like cut everything, drop what you're doing, and it's really crazy to see. Like I feel like every day that I see a new ad and it's like, what the hell did I just see the other day? Like GM is like partnering with freaking what like wild thing that I just see was an advertisement for. Oh god, it's good. I'll think about it. But it was like it's advertising and it was all promoting just all electric vehicles. GM instead. It wasn't GMC, it wasn't Chevy, it was just General Motors. And it was like
I know we got some stuff to dive into here, but one thing that it's kind of crazy is like we've seen cars kind of go away. Where like Ford is like no more cars except for the Mustang.
Yeah.
And Chevy's like no more cars except for like the Corvette.
Yeah, it was all like SUVs and trucks.
Yeah, everything's getting hacked. And now EVs are all of a sudden like, hey, we can still have cars. Like it doesn't have to be an SUV.
Yeah.
Like,
and do you think what do you think it was that drove people away from cars in the beginning? Because I think it was like more just like practicality of it. Like people were seeing like
But what kind of blows my mind, because I'm obviously a big car person, but like crossover SUVs, it's like they were in that price point where it's like they could market it to do a little bit more than a car, but like it really couldn't, and it felt bigger. I just don't.
It was so they were almost moving towards like a luxury thing. Like it was almost like a status symbol, like a big SUV, and it was like it's just like almost like this luxury Ford SUV, and it's like what the hell is this?
There's all these like weird like little in between things, and like crossovers were a huge thing, and that kind of killed off a lot of our cars. But I don't know, it's such a weird middle ground. I do think it was like a status thing, or you needed to have it. Like around here, a lot of them came with all-wheel drive, so like I think I get that. But people just, it's like I don't know if they stopped buying cars or they just I did hear too, like the profits on like a SUV or truck like way higher, so gotta go for the money.
Yeah, I mean you look at like a universal thing, right? That is like a crossover.
Yeah,
like you can fit stuff in it, you can get long range because it's good on gas. Like you can, kind of make them look good in a sense. Like and then
look terrible.
I know,
they look dumb.
I know. Like people try.
Gels loves Jeeps.
No, I don't. No,
Jeep guy.
don't even get me started on Jeeps. All right.
Jeeps are number one for gels.
No.
So, all right, we should talk about what are they taking over. So we got 3 categories here we want to talk about. So commuter, show, and performance. So let's start with commuter.
I'm gonna say I would not mind, like, obviously price point right now, a little out of my range. Like right, like
EVs are not cheap.
No,
like,
that's another thing.
Put it up there, they're
like,
not cheap.
Like as of right now, like I'd imagine you're spending probably 60, 80K, right? Is that
I don't hold on. Yeah, we have our laptops in front of us. We can because we're dumb enough. We're like we need to look stuff up.
Yeah. Well, especially I think what's gonna have impact too is like you're talking about like these new ones from like Ford, like and everything. It's like obviously MSRP is going to get blown right out of the water because everyone's going to try to get their hands on these. They're going to try to modify them right away. They're going to try to do all this stuff.
As of this right now, Model 3 MSRP is for $45K.
So that's not, but still, that's like a higher end. Like I remember my mom.
This is not a BMW. Like this isn't like a luxury car.
No.
Like this is your normal.
Yeah, it's like if you get like a.
Someone's gonna say
you get like a decent Ram truck for that much, like.
Big truck guy.
Yeah.
You can get a Jeep for that much too.
No, don't talk about Jeep.
So they're not cheap, but like I thoroughly enjoyed my experience. Like it's just so simple. Like I don't have like a gas powered lawnmower. I have like a manual thing.
Yeah,
because it's so easy, simple, it's quiet, and like don't have to think about it. And that was the thing about the Tesla.
You have like 5 square feet of grass to mow too.
Yeah. But also like I don't have a long commute, so it's like
True.
you apply those like same principles over. It's like I can plug it in here at work. Mm-hmm. You know, I can plug it in at home, and it's like I don't go that far. It's just easy. Like maintenance is easy. I got enough freaking cars to work on.
Yeah, honestly, like when I was looking for like a new daily, I did search around. I was like, what are these things going for right now? Like, are like the older Model 3s going for pretty cheap? But like, where can you even find them right now? And like, I'm not gonna lie, I did think about it because like, for like just an everyday commuter, daily driver, like just all you have to do is plug it in when you get there, or just like overnight. Like, it makes practical sense. The only thing, right, is like we're living in Wisconsin.
I know.
It's cold here. We got a lot of different elements of weather. You know, I guess I've never really talked to anybody like how they perform. And
everyone that I've talked to is like the battery life does go down in the winter. Like it's
like we were kind of talking about this earlier, coming from like the RC world with like lithium ion batteries, lipo batteries, all that kind of stuff. How you care for those? Like you're not supposed to let them get to like a certain temperature to heat. Same for cold. Like you drop voltage really easily. Like we were doing FPV flying up at like Shawano, I had to put like friggin' hand warmers
it was
between.
Cold.
Yeah, and it would drop the voltage super super quick, and it's like I feel like it's got to have the same impact.
Yeah, I mean, everyone I talked to like that. Obviously, weather impacts those more. We're getting better every day. Like I think I don't know if we'll ever get to the point where it's like a non-issue, but I think you're just mitigating those.
Right.
I mean, in the winter too, like we get the the sick gas that like doesn't freeze as easily and stuff. So like our gas mileage does go down in the winter, but like I think for a commuter though, I really see it. Like it's easy, especially if you live in a big city. Like it's easy for us to drive around, but like if you're just sitting in traffic idling and like whatever, it's just I don't know. If you don't like, I would love an EV as a daily car because I don't have to think about it.
Yeah,
and I can like focus all my attention on my half broken drift car. Right. So it's like
you have to worry about oil changes. You don't have to worry about stopping for gas in the morning.
Blinker fluid. Cheaper.
I never thought of that.
Just blinker electrons. So I don't know. I think what's so funny over there, John? What are you laughing? What?
You two crack me up. That's all.
Hey, that's good.
So I don't know. I see it. And
commuter, absolutely.
Yeah.
How about the show?
I'm
not gonna lie. I've been seeing a lot more pop
There's
up with
cool,
like TEs, wide body, like
there's cool stuff. People are like they're just I think starting to figure it out. I think a couple weeks ago I showed you. I was like, yo, like this there's a wide body kit for like the Model S. Yeah. They're getting cool. That like what I'm really excited for are some of like the companies like Origin or Vertex. Like
oh god, like
they start really doing cool stuff. Like Liberty Walk or whoever really start getting heavy into this. Where it's like that's when I'm curious what's going to happen is when some of these like big names that what they do with it. Like I'm just going to Google Model S wide body here.
Yeah.
Which is great audio. I'm going to type extra loud for you people. But like there's cool stuff. Damn. Yeah. It's cool. You lower it and get a wide body. They look dope. And
it's like I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I know it's either the Model S or Model 3, like some like the performance ones, or like some of them come with like factory air suspension, which you could like lowering links for, and you basically like trick the suspension and literally just lower it like by the lowering links.
This is a carbon fiber wide body kit. That's really expensive.
Damn.
Although I suppose too, like you're really getting into the whole like you're gonna really mess with your mileage if you start throwing the heavy ass fiberglass on there and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the show scene it's going to be cool to see it because these are new cars.
Do you think people are going to like take to it though? Like, do you think like
So I'm old and I like a lot of people my age. I don't know. It's like they might or might not. If you're like a techie, you might be into it. Yeah. If you're not like. If I like my gasoline powered cars, that sort of thing, you won't. But maybe, folks like way younger, like they're like who are 20, which God, it's not that much younger, but like Josh, he's kind of like a baby. Like Josh is maybe into this sort of stuff. I don't know, but I do think that's kind of the wave of like when I was younger, like the new cars that came out then, I still think those are cool.
Yeah.
So if you're like, listening to this podcast, you're just getting your driver's license now, this might be the car that you think is really cool because honestly, if you look at the brochure, this thing's fast as fuck. Like
it is. It's an insane 0 to 60 time. Like it's fast
for the money,
yeah.
you are not going to beat that.
Right.
Like with a petrol powered car, like off the showroom floor.
There's no way.
So I think they're going to be like that generation is going to be way more into this. Also, way more into tech and integrating it.
Yeah.
Where I grew up with cars like having a soul of like the motor and like all of that to it. So that's where I'm connected to. But I'm not going to deny some of these EVs look absolutely sick with some kits on it, some aero, like good wheels. Like it's. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that you make them look really good. It's just, it'll be interesting to see like the show scene in the next few years, seeing like, if they're more start to pop up, if they have like their own like class for them and stuff like that.
That's a good point. I wonder if they are going to start doing like an electric.
So they have to, right? Like what else? What other category are you going to put it in?
I feel another cool thing you can do with these is like maybe some cool lighting stuff, like lighting touches and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like underglow, obviously, but like, I don't know, it's just, they're so futuristic looking. And it's, I don't know. Yeah. It'll be interesting for the show. What about performance-wise?
Yeah, so that's interesting because we talk about, like, you look at the 0 to 60 times, you look at, like, literally, like, the statistics of it, just literally, like, wipes everything.
It's insane.
It's insane. And then you get those people who are like, yeah, I bought, like, what is it, like the P100 or something like that?
Yeah.
Or now you even got the Plaid, right?
Yeah.
Like, literally a Spaceballs reference is so funny.
So, I love
the marketing behind it is genius.
Yeah, it's so, I love the, like, self-awareness, too, of, like, kind of like the underdog, like, we're not going to take ourselves too seriously, we're going to have fun with it. Where, like, I feel like that's kind of the EV culture and, like, a lot of funny vanity
and it's
plays
connecting with the younger, like, generation.
Oh, hell
like,
yeah.
It connects with me. I'm like, yeah, I freaking loved watching Space One Girl, but when they were like, yeah, the Plaid edition.
Dude, all right, here's the biggest juxtaposition. You've got Tesla out there, Elon saying some crazy shit. And then, like, we got this, like, Plaid, and you can do all these customizations. Then you got Buick running an ad like, wow, I can't believe that's a Buick. It's like, oh, my God. Like, it's like
the night
dumb.
and day.
Like, the little, like, jelly bean-looking crossover thing. It just...
It's not a Buick? Yeah.
I know. It's like,
no, it is a Buick. It's definitely a Buick.
I'm sorry. It is a Buick.
It doesn't look like your LeSabre from 2001.
Hey, but the Regal T's kind of...
Yeah, those are pretty good, yeah.
But
performance. So, like, you get people, like, those cars, and they, like, gut them.
Yeah.
And you got, like, half the weight, because you take all the freaking tech and all the unnecessary stuff out, and you're just, like, spanking everything.
Well, I love watching those YouTube videos of, like, Tesla versus what? Tesla versus... And they're just wiping the floor with, like, GTRs, Lamborghinis, and stuff.
But it's like, okay, so, right off the gate, it's like, how do you... progress with, like, what do you modify?
So
right?
Here's the thing, though. They're like, I don't hear a lot of people talking about performance-wise. Yeah. It's great. How many passes do you do before your battery's like
that too?
Not so good.
Yeah.
Like, and drifting, a lot of torque. Like, I know people have tried it or whatever, but like you can't just be like, oh, I'm getting low on
because it's
juice.
a completely different element, right? You're not operating at quarter to half throttle. You're full bore.
Well,
like,
and then
all
like
the time.
You can't just go put gas in it. It's like, I got to go plug in for like an hour and a half. I'm sure we'll get that figured out, but that's the performance thing with like the Formula E races and stuff like that. Like, you can't do an endurance race yet with. Are you waving at me over there, Josh? Oh, I moved. Josh said I can't move because I'll get out of focus. I have to sit very still.
So like, I know I keep kicking back to like the RC reference, but it's like. Yeah, it's a good point. Like
that's why I went Nitro RC when I was in RC.
Literally, I was just gonna say that because, like, obviously in the RC world, this happened 5-10 years ago already. Yep. Everything switched over to electric
because like lipos became.
Affordable. Lipos were like the thing. It became affordable. A lot of like flying clubs and stuff, and even like RC tracks and stuff for like the nitro stuff, like racing, like cars.
It totally went away.
It went away because it was like. Not only like was it becoming cheaper, more affordable, it was easier for people to work with. You didn't have to worry about like tuning everything.
It's not loud as fuck.
It wasn't loud. A lot of like flying clubs and like these courses and stuff were getting shut down because people would move in near them, just like real racetracks and stuff.
Which
and
is also
complain
crazy
about the
like,
noise.
I don't think they're loud, but they're not that loud.
Yeah,
like it's like
yeah, but like my favorite thing, and like don't get me wrong, I love electric like. Planes, cars, all that kind of stuff. It's really easy to work with. It's really clean. You don't have to like wipe everything down.
Yep.
But my God, is it the funnest thing when I literally picked up like an old like what's called a stick plane.
Yeah.
It's literally just a boxy airplane for like, I think it was like $40 at an RC
sick.
auction. Came with everything. It was nitro powered. I can literally go out and fly that all day, nonstop. Just fill it up with gas, and then run like half a gallon of fuel through it. And like while the other guys with all the electric stuff are waiting on their like 3 batteries to charge, like at an hour a piece. Like
it's crazy because it's like that. Just get up and go, and there's drama to it, which like. But you don't get the performance of electric. Yeah. Like that's the one thing, like the tuning and stuff like that. I was just
different climates, different weather, different
or like different like fuel mixture, like bad fuel. Like it's just it changes it. But I mean, performance wise, it's hard to beat it to a point. Like if you did an endurance race of an electric vehicle versus gas, like the electric vehicle could probably stomp it in the beginning. Yeah. But all of a sudden, I guess run out of juice or whatever.
And then you're gonna have to wait for it to charge for 5 hours. You know.
Performance is weird. I think it depends on the category. Drag racing, that's insane. Like for the cost.
Yeah, when you just need to do a couple passes and stomp everything in existence, all day.
So I think to like kind of recap this section for commuter, sound like a no-brainer. Like
absolutely,
we totally get it. Show.
Getting there.
I think absolutely.
Well, it's already started.
I think I'm wondering though if some of like the bigger companies that like do some aero and whatnot, they just wanted to see like, are these going to last?
So here's the thing with show that I guess I didn't really think of is like, obviously you're not going to be doing really anything for performance. When you look at like a lot of show stuff now, like people are cleaning up the engine bay, they're like building engines and stuff.
I know where you're going.
It's gonna be pretty wild. I think you're gonna literally just stick to aesthetic appearance modifications, and everyone's gonna need to outdo each other, and it's gonna get pretty rowdy. Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of weird stuff.
We've not even seen the tip of that iceberg. Oh no, like it's gonna be crazy.
You're gonna see Bosuzoku Tesla 3s in like 5 years, and it's gonna be insane.
That'd be dope. I think performance, the jury's kind of out. Like
I don't think the tech is quite there yet. When you can get something where it's like, I know like the fast chargers are there, but it's like, hey, I can charge my battery in 30 seconds to full capacity. That's when it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, that's when the conversation totally changes. Like, I agree. So, how about some cons?
I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit, right? We talked about like us, Wisconsin, location, climate, cold weather, kind of drops voltage a little bit. Don't get as much like stuff like that. Also, like, the world just isn't fully built for EVs yet. Like, I grew up 4 hours north of here, 2,000 people, and, like, in between there, it's hours of just woods and, like, a random gas station every couple hundred miles.
And it's like a supercharger, some electric grids in Wisconsin, like in the paper they talked about even, like certain cities can't handle superchargers. Like, the infrastructure isn't there to really support it, like, in mass or what you're looking for. Where you see a lot, like I see way more Tesla than I've ever seen before, but like you're not like in LA or like Orlando where it's like you can have like all that infrastructure.
And I think it's like, specifically, it's almost as bad as like, taking a road trip in a car that's got like 93. Like you got to like map out all the 93 freaking gas stations on the way, and it's like, oh yeah, I got to go 50 miles out of the way because this has 93.
Jesus.
So it's like, you gotta, if you're gonna take it on long distance, you gotta map out.
It does have. I will say though, it's pretty slick how Tesla has like little somewhere like you say where you want to go, and it routes you through there. So like, I think like a lot of EV
they're doing what they can.
Understand the shortcomings, and they're doing everything
they know.
To mitigate.
They've done a lot of research on this.
And I think the other thing like with the climate too is like time will tell, but is it more wear and tear in the battery in those colder climates and like is your battery life lower? Like,
this might be a dumb question.
Oh boy, we only take dumb questions.
This is probably a really dumb question, and I'm probably way overthinking. How the hell do like the heating systems work in there? Like how does your AC work? How does your heater work? Like you don't have a engine powering a compressor or like taking heat from the engine to.
So I think in simplest terms, look at your plug-in electric heaters. Like,
I guess. Is that really what it is?
Yeah, I mean,
see, I knew it was a dumb question. I didn't even.
Josh, cut.
I'm so sorry. No. I'm just like picturing like one of those like old like freaking radiator heaters just like sitting in the front like you have
your separate gas powered.
Oh right, yeah. You got like a Mr. Heater in your passenger seat from your ice shack.
That was actually one thing that was really crazy. Is like the heat and AC was like instant. Like, it was really good. Like I
guess that makes sense. That would actually be pretty nice.
The thing though, I will say when I drove the Model 3, that I was always conscious of is like whatever input I did, I was like, this is affecting battery life. Like that always in the back of my head where I was like, man, if I turn the heat on, there's this. And then when I got my 240 and the alternator was going out, every time I hit the brake lights, the indicator would come on that at like low voltage. So I was like rationing like my like brake usage because I was like, I might die. Like,
oh my
this
god,
is bad.
That's a really good point. I guess
That's what the only thing I didn't like was like I'm constantly using a finite resource that I can't just refill.
Yeah,
that's
kind of scary.
It was dumb.
I feel like it's something you definitely got to get used to.
Yeah, you just YOLO it and turn your heat on.
But like longevity too, right? Like you look at the Lipo batteries, lithium-ion batteries. You even look at our phones, right? Like as they age. As your phone
I'm at 36%. Like I did not do much today.
Like right, like we know it's like you get a brand new phone and you plug it in. And it's like, damn, this battery lasts like 2 days. I can go 2 days, and now it's like I can't even make it to the end of the day.
You like the guy with the charger always connected like into your like power brick in the back.
Yep.
Yeah,
so it's like I feel like it's got to be the same, right? Like at what point do these batteries wear out that they need to be replaced?
And the internet will tell us, but we don't know what this is going to take because battery technology is better.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing that I also is weird to me with electric cars, like with phones, is you get something, there's always a better one like just on the corner. Because like with like gas powered cars, they get better, but we're not like leaps and bounds.
Do you think it's gonna be to that point where it's like we're treating our cars like our phones, like we're just swapping them out every 3 years or every 2 to 3 years?
I don't know because I don't think we know yet. Like a lot of people that I know that have Teslas, they've stuck with what they got, partially because it's just like the barrier to entry is pretty high, or it's expensive, and
they're fully invested. They're
also like, I don't have a need to upgrade. Where it's like your car, you're like, oh man, the shocks are getting bad, like the ball joints are getting bad, like I need a like it's gonna be like $3,000 to fix all this. I'm just gonna get something different, or something like that. I don't know. I think time's gonna tell us.
It's really interesting to see. That's a really wild thing to think about because like I'm thinking about it, I'm like it's like, what if they just kind of played as a thing? It's like, oh, yep, every year you get a new car. Just like you get a new phone.
I know. Well, or, like, I don't know if people, like, maybe people aren't going to care as much about, like, the suspension geometry and all the, like, the nerd shit that we care about. Or they're just like, what's the, like, the processing power of the computer on the car so it can run these apps? Or, like, what you look for in a phone. Like, those things that, like, are upgraded. Like, because at some point, these are going to get too fast. Like, for a normal person to jump in a car with this...
That's also terrifying.
Like, what the... Like,
it's like, you're like, oh, yeah, like, you would not give the keys of a Hellcat to a 16-year-old. But you're going to go give them to the keys to a freaking Tesla.
That's allegedly self-driving.
And that's like twice as fast.
Oh, God.
That is terrifying.
I know. It's crazy. I think longevity, time is going to tell. But I just don't think we know enough. Like, I know we can look it up and it'll tell us like where things are at, and everything's very polarized and of like lasts this long or not that long. But we are so much in the infancy of this mass adoption phase that I don't think we know yet because the sample size is like growing and growing and growing. But it'll be interesting to see.
So
this next one is a hot topic.
Yeah, this is a really hot topic, right? So I have a lot of Lipo batteries in my house. I keep those Lipo batteries in a specific fireproof bag inside of an ammo box.
Damn.
Right? Because
why do you do that?
Because they fucking explode randomly if you don't take care of them properly. Like, that is another thing that I was always in the back of my mind. Is like, your car is a giant battery.
Yeah.
That's made of the same material that I have seen plenty of these small 4-cell, 6-cell packs just rupture, and you can't contror that fire.
It's a crazy fire because it reacts with oxygen.
Yeah,
and there's kind of like a lot of that in the air.
Yeah.
I used to work at a fire apparatus manufacturer.
Yeah.
That was kind of a big topic where EVs were starting to become more and more popular. And
like, how you get into an accident. Like,
how do you deal with these? Or like extrication? How do you cut someone out? Well, you don't want to cut into the battery pack. That's no bueno. Like, bad day. The jaws of life become like the jaws of death at that point. And like, to extinguish a fire, you basically take the car, like this was only a couple years ago. Basically, it was the best way to do this is take the car and dump it in a water and like solution like bath to like put it out. Otherwise, the cells keep popping off and popping on fire. And that's where it comes to performance of like, sometimes EVs aren't allowed certain places because they don't have the
equipment
to deal with fire. Because this is gonna be totally wrong, but I believe the Formula Drift car that like was an EV they wanted to run.
Yeah.
I believe that they didn't end up like going further, like other reasons, but like also track fire suppression was an issue and like insurance.
Yeah,
and
it's
whatnot.
like you got to make sure that is everywhere that they go.
Yeah, it's well, and
it's scary, man. I've had those, like
that's a big fire.
Yeah, I've had those packs like puff up, and I'm like, I've never moved so fast in my life. I was literally like, I was soldering some connectors on it, and sure shit, they touched, like the leads touched, and I was like, holy crap. First of all, burnt the shit out of my hand. Yeah. Second of all, like the battery started to puff. I literally sprinted and just chucked that thing.
That bad boy
I'm like,
out.
I am not doing it. And sure, they
Dude, remember when people's vape pens were just exploding in their
pockets? The same thing, yeah.
Josh is laughing over there because he's a big vaper.
I think we're just telling things about Josh that are just not true.
He's not on camera and he can't defend himself. This is the benefit to being on camera.
But I mean, it's like a real concern, right? You're talking about a giant battery pack. That's essentially the frame of your vehicle.
Right now, I am just imagining the like EV army just being like, "You're wrong about this." But like,
and I might be. But like
in concept though, like I remember this was a huge thing when I worked at the firearms manufacturer of like how this happens, or like you get into a collision, like.
And I trust them. I trust them to come up with a solution for it, right? Like it's got to obviously pass like safety things, and I'm sure they already have a solution for it. But like, always in the back of my mind, it's like, how do they do that? Like, how do they mitigate that?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we'll get better at, but as more and more on the road, that's where you see some of these issues pop up. That's for me the performance side of things. That's gonna be really interesting because like.
Yeah.
Man, you get into a bad wreck, like what that does to the cell, or if ruptures it, or we can find a way to contain it. I don't know. For sure. But there's more than just negatives to EVs.
There's positives.
So, pros. The first thing we have listed here is fast dash hella fast. Like I said before, like it's crazy. It's just instant torque. Like it's so crazy. There's no turbo lag. It's just there's no weird torque dip like you had in your FRS. It's like. Just super fast.
Yeah. Like, thanks for throwing that little bit in there.
I mean, you don't have a car anymore. Or you don't have the lack of torque like your RX-8. Like,
all right.
There's that too.
There's that too. All right, I get it. I have slow cars. I'm fine. It's whatever. It's fine.
I mean, you can come back and like retaliate if you want.
I don't have anything. I can't talk. I have slow cars.
But I mean, they are fast. Like I think that's a pro and a appealing side to it. Is if you're a brochure nerd, it's kind of impossible to argue.
It's kind of a flex.
Yeah,
like that 0 to 60 is a flex.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I think it's like 3 point.
Just a model.
Or no, it's less than that. It's like.
In the twos.
Yeah.
2.0 or something. 2.1.
No way.
Is it like 1.8 seconds or some shit?
Wait. We tested. So this is from Car and Driver.
Yeah.
I've heard of them. It's not Anovia wheels, but they tested a 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid, and it reached 60 miles per hour in 2.1 seconds.
Damn, that is so.
This is where it gets bonkers. This is a stock car that you can buy.
Literally straight from the factory.
Yeah, you can go to Elon's house.
You don't have to get special permission.
Can't you just like order these online too?
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds on the way to a quarter-mile pass of 151 miles per hour at 9.4 seconds.
You got a 9-second car, faster than what they built in the first Fast and Furious.
Dude, imagine if Paul Walker just showed up with like...
You want me a 10-second car? He's like, hey, I got you a 9-second car, and it's free.
Yeah, and
you don't have to do anything.
Stock.
Yeah.
Like, that is so crazy.
That thing would dominate race.
You showed up WIR, that's our local drag strip. With that, you run that pass, or like you're out, like you got to cage it.
Dude,
it's
Johnny Training got shit.
Dude,
on the Tesla
too soon,
Plaid.
Junior? No. I do kind of wonder though, like they're fast, but I really wonder if we find a way of realizing like, all right, this is stupid fast.
Yeah.
But let's make getting to that speed more fun. Where if it's like there's no gear changes.
Yeah,
and that's the fun part about like driving a manual car fast is like gear changes.
It's a different animal.
I don't know. Like how do you do like fake a gear change in there? Like you are limited to speed.
Add like a little hesitation.
I don't know. It's just
I don't know.
These cars are really fast.
That's insane.
You could talk about. I know, like the Porsche, they have fake exhaust sounds.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's
dude.
You can download whatever car you want.
Oh god.
Like that. And they have speakers in the back.
That's kind of dumb. I hate that.
Okay.
Yep.
Listen to this.
Okay, I'm listening.
I did my own research. I'm not reading this off the internet. But
Really?
the Model S Plaid, it boasts 1,020 peak horsepower, 0 to 60 about 2 seconds. Bugatti Chiron, 1,500 horsepower, top speed of 261, and it can go 0 to 60 in 2.5. You're beating a Chiron 0 to 60.
That's insane. That's just dumb. For like, I can't even do the math in my head, but you know the price of a Bugatti.
It's like a
couple million, yeah.
All right, Tesla Model S, 130 grand. For that much money though, you're going real fast. Yeah. Like, that's not a slow car.
That's crazy.
Damn. And they don't even weigh as much as I thought they did. That's crazy. They weigh 5,000 pounds.
So they're fast as hell. Got that. How about, kind of touched on it before too, all the overall tech. So we talk about like self-driving.
It's got
just
cool
like,
features.
Just like it. Comfort overall. Like
I will say it's the Teslas I've been in. It's always kind of just like I feel like I'm in a spaceship. Like it just feels like really cool.
Got,
like very modern. Josh would like it. Like
it's very minimal.
Very clean, minimal. Yeah, and it just doesn't seem like dumb stuff. Like you get in some like normal cars and it's like why'd they do that? Like it just looks dumb. Like it's just like they're trying. And Tesla, it's like everything just seems and other electric cars too I've been in, even like hybrids or whatever. It's like it usually seems like we really try to like think this out. Sometimes almost a little bit gimmicky, but the other thing is like they have like a 65-inch plasma TV
in the center console.
It's huge. Like every time at some point it's just gonna be like the tablet's gonna be the windshield. And it's gonna have a camera, like
just VR car.
Also, like people like it's like who has the biggest tablet or who has the biggest screen,
God.
and like
and then it's gonna go to who has the smallest screen.
Dude, I've talked.
It's gonna keep going back and forth.
I've talked to people and like they've been upset that they only had like the 10.1-inch touchscreen and like the touchscreen matters.
That was Dakota with his Supra. He's like, I need the bigger screen for the navigation. I'm like, okay.
That's the thing though, is like with tech, usually it doesn't age well. The cool thing about some of these like EVs is like being able to do firmware updates and things like that to actually update that tech. So you like remember when I don't know, like 10 years ago, let's say, you go to buy a car that at that point was 10 years old and it had navigation that used like a DVD.
Yeah.
And how poorly
you had to like
that aged.
you had to update it like all the time.
And it cost like $300.
I literally remember stories of like up north people literally trying to take like ATV and snowmobile trails with their GPS because they literally told them to because it wasn't like updated for whatever. And it was like they had to go like pull these cars out of these trails because people were getting lost.
But I don't know, there's a lot of cool stuff that they can do because you don't have to worry about like and there's a lot of variabilities like air fuel, like ratio, like all temperature, all sorts of stuff.
Every day you could be putting down different horsepower numbers. It's never consistent.
It's crazy. And I think like the whole self-driving thing, like it's a very like hotly contested topic over it is self-driving, it's not. But either way, I feel like that is something that people want and they're clamoring towards. And I think someday we're going to have cars that can like do it very well. Right now, like I don't know, when I was like had the feature on, I was like, I don't feel really confident in this because
what's new? Yeah,
and the car just like it wasn't like a smooth motion. It was like very like whoop whoop whoop, and I was like like, we're gonna crash.
Like is it freaking out? I don't know. Yeah.
So I think there's so much room. Like, what kind of tech would you want? Like, are you excited for those like EVs?
I don't know. I like raw driving. Raw dog the driving experience. No, I mean like even like when I bought like the FRS, one thing that I really enjoyed is that it was just simple. It was basic. Like there wasn't really any assists on anything. It felt good. Like I was driving the car.
Not frivolous.
And I don't know, I think it's something that, eventually I'm gonna miss a lot as like these new tech like things come out and all these assists and it's like you look at like even like dude, you see how people drive nowadays, like
big dumb.
And it's big dumb because they're like, oh yeah, well my sensor didn't go off to tell me that you were there. I'm like, well you could just
whenever I pass someone like they see the little blind spot
I watch it and I watch them. I'm like, I swear to God, if you come over and I've had it happen so many times.
Josh is sending links in the chat here.
Oh God. But I've literally
Are you gonna Rickroll me?
No, you're just talking a lot about Tesla, but you're missing brand new Audi e-trons.
Yeah, the e-trons.
Okay, that's a good point. We haven't said Tesla. I think I just said because it's like that's when it comes to mind. But like the Audi stuff is crazy. Like the Porsche, like Taycan, we said before, nutty. Like it's crazy. I really think that Audi and Porsche specifically. So like the Germans, they're gonna give Tesla a run for its money because like I don't know it just.
Plus, they already have like the roots in the automotive industry. Like they have the resources, they have everything
Josh
already.
just likes Audis though. That's why he's sending me this one.
He sold his.
The entire dash.
Okay, I'll be real though. Audi, your wheels on these e-trons are cheeks. Like, they don't look good.
No.
Also, directional? Not really. It's like fake directional. Gotcha.
Called out.
Unless they reverse these images. Hold on. I don't know. I can't get the website to work right. It keeps zooming in weird. Anywho, there's just a lot that's been coming. Like Rivian, like they're making headlines with stuff. Is like, oh, it's crazy to see that stuff.
Yeah.
And like the tech that other people bring, because like diversity only makes things better.
Right.
So as you get more manufacturers that jump on board and
Start competing against each other and trying to make it cheaper, more.
well, and they're making the decision of like, we're not doing like gasoline powered engines after certain dates. So it's like, it's like, come to the new world, I'm burning the ships. Like,
literally.
This is it. Like, we're jumping all in. I'm excited to see what Dodge does because they just do weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
It's true.
they're like,
I heard they're hopping on board with it too. They're kind of doing the same route.
just watch Dodge be like, hey, we're going all electric.
Yeah.
But you can get it with a Hellcat motor.
I don't know how that adds up, but yeah.
It's Dodge.
Yeah, that's true.
And like the Mach-E is,
That was a weird move.
man,
Why did they have to take the Mustang?
why'd you call, I know.
Like, just call it the Mach-E. I'm
Or
like,
like
okay,
the
cool.
Galaxy or like any other name. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they did it because it like garnered attention.
I mean, it definitely got people talking
not
about
a pretty vehicle, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it does a lot of cool things, and like I've never had like a terrible experience with the Ford outside my spark plug getting like shot out of the block. But I think the Mach-E's like it was one of those where I was like skeptical about it, and then I just heard a lot of people really like it, and like it just makes sense and it does things well. I just don't like it's like a crossover.
Yeah, I just hate that they used the Mustang name for it. I think that was completely. I literally think that was just a ploy to get people talking about it.
Yeah.
And it did. It pissed everybody off.
Didn't Volkswagen come with like the e-Golf or something like?
I don't know.
Hold on.
That same big Google guy.
Because e-Golf. I remember this thing in kind of like a not
Google
good
stocks
range.
after this video.
What stocks?
Google.
I'm not using Google.
What are you? You're not using Bing.
I'm using my own search engine I made.
That's the dumbest. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, e-Golf. Yeah. We probably should begin an episode like just talked about all the other ones. We kept saying Tesla. It's such a plug-in.
I mean, like, it's like when you think about it, like that was one that really started everything. So
I know, like there are other things out there, and Josh is just getting all mad about it. But this is our podcast, Gels. Josh is just sitting there drinking Palomas. We're the ones doing the work.
It really is too.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is a Paloma.
It's a Paloma.
I mean, that's the best flavor, by the way. Eco-friendly potential. So, I know we need to be nice to the environment, and there's a lot of things that I do with my cars that aren't good to the environment.
Like what?
I have like 12
burning
tires.
oil. Yeah.
It's not good. I get it, and I think it is like it's good to be environmentally responsible, but there's that whole debate of like how you're recycling the batteries and all that stuff.
Or
but
getting
like,
the material and
exactly, as long as we can get it figured out, it's good. Like there's nothing bad about being good to the environment. Yeah. Like it's, I think that eco-friendly potential is huge, and also the cost of like gas and all of that. Like, I remember when I had a Jaguar XJ8, and gas was like it hit almost like $5 a gallon. And I didn't have a lot of money. I looked like I had a Jaguar, but I was just like, I can't afford to like
go
put
bankrupt
gas
every time I drive this.
It was terrible.
Not only did it break all the time because it was Jaguar, but it also just
you know what the funny part? The only thing that really broke on time were the electrical things.
Well, yeah.
Dude, yeah. Jaguar in like 2003, if they would have had to come with an electrical vehicle, they'd have been like, oh, it starts on fire a lot.
Yeah.
Like, not good. All right. So we kind of talked about being eco. I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough to really give a stance on that. As long as like,
it's
be good at the environment. Like offset people like us doing dumb stuff. Like Do you remember like there's only...
You be good to the environment, so I can just be dumb to the environment, continue doing the stupid stuff that I do.
Yeah.
Fair?
It benefits me.
Yeah.
Me.
That's a really fucked up way to say that. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, if it came down to it where it was like, hey, if you want to keep drifting, you need to offset your carbon footprint and drive an EV, I'd go get an EV in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, like,
Yeah,
I'm down.
Like a daily car, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I think in Wisconsin, it's where we live, is like, hey, whatever works, like, go for it.
Yeah.
I remember Jacob's diesel truck just, like, spewed, like, blue smoke because it had bad rings, and it was like, Jacob Gittins, so if he's watching this.
Oh.
Yeah, like, every time I fired it up, it was like blue smoke, just like, coming out of it.
And he's Canadian, so I thought they were supposed to be really good in the environment.
They have a lot of nature up there.
Yeah, big nature.
I'm gonna try not to move too much. I'm slouching, big slouch. Am I still good, Josh? I'm in focus. What I found out is Advanced Auto Parts, O'Reilly's, all those places, they'll take your used oil.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, like, at all.
I mean, I guess just because I worked there for 3 years, but yeah, that's a pretty...
Big O'Reilly's guy.
They have big signs out of it front.
No.
Yeah,
There's
the
none.
windows are covered in recycle your oil.
Okay, Advanced Auto Parts in Appleton, it's not on the window. So after every drift event, I change my oil.
Yeah.
So a lot of...
So, yeah, a lot of it.
Dude.
Yeah.
When they're like, hey, we're taking it, I was like, is there a limit? He's like, no.
There's a limit.
No.
There should be.
I brought in 12, like,
Gallons.
5-quart containers. The dude about shit himself.
I think we're only, like, if I remember right, someone let me know in the comments if you guys work at, like, O'Reilly's or something still, but I think it was only, like, 5 gallons we could take at a time.
Oh, dude, they took all the oil.
It's like, ah, screw it.
I took in, yes.
Did they make you dump it yourself?
No, they just...
I would have made you dump it.
The guy goes, I go, where do you want it? Like, I had the first two. He's like, oh, just set it up front. I was like, bet.
And you just sneak the rest in there?
I didn't sneak it.
Oh.
I kept going out and in, out and in, out and in, out. I didn't buy anything that day. I literally just kept going out and out and in.
Oh, no.
And this younger guy was behind the counter, and he's like, wow, that's a lot of oil. I said, yeah. I was like, yeah, I got to bring some tires to the dump. Because I bring my oil to the dump. I could recycle or whatever. But I was like, this is easier. And he's like, yeah, we got a dumpster out back. If you just want to throw tires back there.
Oh, my God.
And I was like...
all right.
No, like, this is going to fill your dumpster up really fast. So
Yeah.
I didn't do that. But what were we talking about? Oh, being eco-friendly.
Yeah.
Last topic before I have to go to the movie theater and watch movies with Dakota.
Yeah.
Modifications. So one thing that we've seen, we were both a little surprised by it, was the number of Teslas quickly, Tesla specifically, Josh, because that's what is in there, in our gallery on Anovia wheels, which, I'm not shocked why, but the lightweight wheels.
Yeah. It makes a difference.
They're quite a bit lighter than stock, too.
Yeah. I think, Steve Hamilton, the Hamilton Collection, YouTube, stuff like that, he just picked up a plaid and he immediately threw Elders on it and said that it was a noticeable difference in the range that he got at everything. When you're talking about, like, rotational mass and, motors and things with resistance, like, that's your point of, like, most resistance when it comes to that is your rotational mass. And the more you can limit that, the better it's going to be.
Chris Borgart said on his Kona that he didn't get Anovias.
I know.
I don't.
He's like, I want purple wheels. I'm like, cool. We
got the night, bro.
Wheels. And he's like, no, but I don't want your purple wheels. And I was like, all right, you're dead to me.
Yeah, Chris, I hope you're listening.
I haven't talked to him since then.
Good. I'll stop talking to him. No, but in all seriousness, his wheels, they're heavy. And he said he noticed a difference in gas mileage, like, right away.
Yeah.
So and he's not, like, a huge enthusiast. Like, he's definitely getting into it. But he's like, damn, like, I noticed it. Yeah. So we're not joking when we talk about the wheels being lightweight and the benefits. But that's the crazy thing about EVs, too, is that is a big differentiator. Then it comes, like, braking performance, all that.
Yeah, because, like you were mentioning earlier, it's like at every moment you're using a finite resource. And like, that is a big impact on that. And
the other thing, too, is, like, when you get into the performance aspect of it, you go to, like, the track and whatnot, all the benefits of lightweight wheels transfer along with your extended range. Now, I know someone's going to be like, well, you get better gas mileage. Like, yes, you do, but I'm going to be real. When you've got, like, a 6 mile per gallon, like, 1,000 horsepower beast or whatever, like, you're that's out the window. It's just the performance then. What other things, like, are you excited
for? You literally just look at, like, the modifications as far as, like I said, touched on before, I think it's the majority of it, and until we get a full understanding, when general enthusiasts like me and you like get a understanding of like how to actually modify these things, which I think is going to be a long time.
Like coilovers, wheels.
Yeah, cool. Bolt-on things that I can physically replace. Yeah, makes sense. But when you're talking about like reprogramming the entire car,
it's like the Matrix getting in there. Like
it's like you're talking about like completely different things. It's like you have to have people figure that out, and then they're going to sell it for a lot of money.
I know, like it'd be funny when there's like this black market for like chipped ECUs or like all this like weird stuff that
jailbreak my freaking EV to
Oh man, I wonder how that's gonna affect like movies and stuff.
It's gonna be wild.
Oh man,
I can't wait for Hollywood.
Like, shut stuff off remotely and all that stuff.
Have you ever played Watch Dogs?
No, but I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, it was like the whole point. I think it was like the second one, Watch Dogs 2. It was like,
oh really?
Yeah, it was like a hacktivist group.
I remember. The first one's like cell phone was like your big thing.
Yeah, and that was the same with the second one, but it was like based out of like California, so it was like super like hipster and stuff like that. But like the whole thing was like, oh yeah, all these like smart devices and things that you have in your homes, like these home cameras and Nests and things like that. It's like they're just tracking you, and like you could like literally just go on and you could like literally control vehicles from phones, like hack in and like crash people, and like it's a wild game. But like
save me from the fence.
Yeah, dude, I could have. Yeah, like not today.
I think the other thing, like we talk about lightweight, like carbon fiber is also on this path of like craziness. Yeah. That it's going to intersect and make a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I would say that stuff too is becoming more like accessible to like people like you and I.
Yeah.
Like I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos like, yeah, I'm making my own forged carbon parts because I have access to a 3D printer that I can make a mold for. Like I could literally make a mold and get carbon and make forged carbon fiber intake.
Yeah.
For like half the price of buying one.
It's crazy what that's going to enable people. And I think 3D printing is another thing for EVs, what that's going to do, because a lot of the components you don't need like a cast manifold or like all this crazy stuff. Is as 3D printing progresses, like the materials that you use on it are going to be able to like hold up to some things you needed to modify the EV in the way you want to.
It's going to be a wild time.
I think so.
I'm kind of excited for it. I'm kind of nervous about it too. Not gonna lie.
I'm excited for it. I'm just nervous, in all transparency, that we're trying to take this jump too soon.
Yes.
Like I see all the apartment complexes around here, and like, there's no way these people are gonna be able to have EVs all over.
Yeah, you're looking at apartment complexes that are being built literally like last summer, and it's like they have no plugins for it. They can't support it. It's like
our like gas powered like cars have progressed so much in the last 5 years, where America has figured out that we can have small displacement motors with turbos that do really well, and like Japan and Europe was like.
Yeah, we've been doing this for like 30 years.
We put diesels in cars. Like, do you guys know that?
Well,
like,
I mean, Volkswagen tried that, did not turn out good. So
wait, what happened? I heard the emissions are good.
Yeah, it was like too good. It was really weird, and then
dude, I remember when people were buying those back, and like they were stripping everything off of them, and then they're like, "Okay, we are catching on. Like this is bad." But yeah, I just what like all this stuff like Koenigsegg is doing. Where it's like the crazy motors and stuff like that, like the camless motors and whatnot, where it's like the efficiency potential of the gasoline powered like engines is like so high that we're never gonna see that. And like,
you know what's gonna happen? I want this to go down on record.
Ooh! Look at the camera. Look at the camera.
When we find out that the world cannot support electric vehicles and the internal combustion piston engine has come to its max potential, rotary engines are going to take over the world.
Turn it off.
They've been quiet for too long.
They've never been quiet. Rotaries are loud as shit. They've never been quiet.
Mazda's been building new rotaries.
Actually, don't they have the rotary hybrid?
Yeah, it's like a range extender.
Yeah, which... The rotaries are known for not being fuel efficient. Like, we're going to extend the mileage with this bullshit.
They've been working on it in the dark.
Yeah, I think
they're going to come and just take over the world.
What's going to happen? We're getting dumb now. This is the best part of the podcast. Because this is the Midwest.
Yeah,
goodbye.
It's like
we're just keeping going.
After 6. We've been working for like 12 hours.
What's going to happen? EVs.
Yeah.
It's like Terminator. They they're sentient. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when we get rid of all the EVs.
Skynet.
Yeah. So we conquer the EVs, and humanity understands like what's good. Yeah. And Nissan comes out, and they go, we're bringing the RB26 back, and we're good. Like it then.
Yeah, then we just sit blown up in your garage for a year.
I have an RB25, not 26.
Well, same thing.
But yeah, that's the only thing is like. I mean, look like Ford is doing. Like a lot of small cars, these really cool small turbo motors that are cool, fun to tune, or easy to tune, all that. Now it's just like such a small window. Like look at the Focus ST and like the Fiesta ST.
It's
like
only been out for a few years.
I know, and then it's like done.
Yeah.
And it's such
like,
a small
the
window.
RS was made for what, like 3?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Didn't the guy have an RS when we picked up your 240? Yeah. Or was that an ST?
It's RS. Very nice.
There's a white one, right?
Those things have held their value incredibly.
Oh my god.
Well.
Yeah, it's because people see the value and they're like, they were out for like such a small amount of time.
I feel like they've consistently just been like $40K.
So on this whole podcast, talk about EVs, we are going to conclude that we wish that they wouldn't show up in our cars that we liked.
I mean, I feel like some people wouldn't be mad with that conclusion. No, I'd like you said, for like commuting and stuff like that, absolutely. Like, I think they should be mixed in with everyday cars.
Yeah.
I think that they should absolutely just stop production of all internal combustion engines and like we should only be running EVs? Absolutely not. I think that takes a lot of, obviously the fun is what we're looking at it from the enthusiast side of everything. It's like, well, how do you have like fun? Like, yeah, they're fast, but it's like, how do you... They don't sound cool. Like, you can't, like, modify them to make more power. Like, it's...
I know. And
maybe
pumping
that's just...
fake engine noise is like, we're going to have external speakers.
It's like,
all those
okay,
truck dudes out there
it's
like blasting their music from outside their
Yeah, they've
trucks.
been doing that for a while, haven't they?
Yeah, those guys are wild, man. That's crazy.
Big truck guy, you know.
Trucks.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting next few years for sure. Especially, like, as you said, it's literally like a leap into it. Like, everyone's like, all right, we're doing it. And, like, cut everything. And they're like, do you have the resources to do that? Does the everyday person have the finances to do that? Like,
it's going to be a wild world. This was a very interesting one because we kind of talked about something that was a little bit outside of our comprehension because we're dumb. But I'm okay with that. We're not saying, like, we're right. It's just, you're just listening to us debate something that, to me, is interesting to talk about. And I think this would be a fun thing to revisit at some point.
Yes.
Because, like, I'd really love to get an EV enthusiast on the podcast and just, like, talk with their experiences.
I can't wait to revisit this when the Rotary is taken back over and we're all laughing at it. So.
On that note, thanks for listening. I thought this was a fun one. I'm looking forward to continuing to do these and talk with some more hotly contested topics.
Same. So thank you guys so much for watching or tuning in or however you're receiving this episode. Don't forget, if you need some wheels for your EV, because they're 5x114.3 for the most part, you can check out AnoviaWheels.com. Extend your range and get some lightweight wheels. What's up?
Does the e-tron still use like the dumb bolts that Audi uses?
Oh, lug bolts? Yeah, probably. That's the Germans for you. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. Check out AnoviaWheels, AnoviaWheels.com, and stay tuned next week for the next episode. It's going to be a fun one. So thank you guys. We'll see you later.